Good day and welcome to inderesTV. Wärtsilä released its second quarter result today, and I'm here at the Wärtsilä's headquarters, ready to talk with the company's CEO Håkan Agnevall about Wärtsilä's performance and future outlook and prospects, of course, also. Hi Håkan, and congratulations. It was really strong result once again, I have to say.
Yes, thank you. I agree. The second quarter was a very strong quarter in many dimensions. I mean, order intake is going up, profitability is going up, cash flow is going up. So step by step, we are making progress on the right way.
Yeah. Could we say that your operating margin percentage was already over 11% and your financial target is 12%? You are really going fast to your financial target. Is that a surprise for you, or what is happening?
No, I think we have earlier talked a lot about that we are on a solid path to reach our financial targets. I think, just to your point, you were talking about the adjusted EBIT.
Yeah.
And we have said it's the EBIT without adjustments, and there we still have percentage units more to close, but we are double digit, and clearly the goal is to get it to 12. So we are on a solid path. And I think the second quarter, the outcome of the second quarter is, at least in my view, it's yet another proof point that we will get there, so to say.
Yeah. Your kind of motto is transform and perform. Am I right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And if we talk about the transform piece, the decarbonization, I think we see it playing out. I mean, we are bringing new technical solutions to the markets, engines for new fuels, carbon capture, etc. There's a lot of interest. Of course, it takes time for the sales to pick up. Methanol engines, we are already today selling quite a lot of. But that is one major growth avenue on the whole decarbonization story, supported by the regulatory environment, clearly with IMO, EU, etc., but also by a growing market for green transport. And even, there are concerns with European election for European Parliament, etc. We still see that the regulatory environment will be maintained, so to say. It's unlikely that there will be drawbacks. And this clearly has impact on the marine side. And on the energy side, we see the increase of our renewables from a global perspective playing out. And for us, US is a very important market. So the transform piece is suddenly there. Then on the perform piece, I think our service strategy, moving up the service value ladder, I think we see it's working out for us on all steps. I think we are growing, and it really helps us to build, strengthen our customer relations in a good way. We see now, our core segments around cruise, around ferries, around offshore, they're really delivering, and I think we on energy side, we have shifted our product portfolio, more of equipment, less of EPC. That's also why we see the profit margin of the portfolio recovering, and we continue to work on divesting our portfolio businesses. I think what is good to note this quarter is that the turnaround of some of the portfolio companies that are ongoing is actually going in the right way. We see the improved profitability, and we still, our intention is to divest them, but the turnaround has been part of the overall strategy for how to develop those assets before divestment. So I think both on the perform and the transform side, we are making progress.
Yeah, that's true. How is the strategic review of the energy storage business progressing?
Yeah, it's progressing. As you remember, we set out in the strategic review to, we have a business, it's growing, ample growth opportunities. How do we fuel that growth in the best way for our customers, for shareholder value? And as part of the review, we are looking at different ownership alternatives. Could be that we keep the business, run it like we didn't grow it like we do today, or we partially or fully divest. The strategic review is still ongoing, so we have no news to report on that front. We clearly understand that people are curious, but we are working on it. There is progress, but we are not ready to make any announcements so far.
Okay, we have to wait still.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think, though, if I may compliment, we continue the journey of improved profitability. So the profit margin is now positive and it's increasing, EBIT margin. We also continue to grow the business, so the underlying growth is still there.
Yes. If we dive into the marine business a bit deeper, the demand for services being supported by the longer trade routes or trade flows, if we look at your business perspective, by the disruptions in Red Sea. So give some perspective about the impact of these disruptions to your business, more insightful.
Yeah, so I would say it's certainly a growth driver, but it's not a major growth driver. I mean, the major growth driver is working with the different steps and the strategy of in the service value ladder. Agreements and retrofit, I think, in this quarter has been fairly strong. So we see that playing out. However, of course, the Suez situation contributes to our service business. And basically, since Suez is closed, I mean, people are taking the leg around Good Hope.
Yeah.
Panama has also been a challenge because of the lack of water. So the canal has not had its normal capacity. It hasn't been closed. So, and that also leads to longer routing, so to say. And what happens then, of course, the vessels run longer, so they generate more engine hours and therefore more service business. So it is contributing, but it's not a major driver, so to say.
How do you see the world trade flows in a longer term perspective? There are many political tensions at the moment.
Yeah, we do see a lot of geopolitical concerns. I mean, that is something of the current, which of course makes prediction for the future difficult, because we still have the war in Ukraine, we have the situation with the Middle East and Suez, we have the geopolitical tensions, US and China, potentially Europe, China. Inflation is coming down, of course, but interest rates are still fairly high.
Yeah.
So it is an uncertain environment. On the marine side, we don't see major impact so far, and I think it looks stable. On the energy side, the higher interest has led to certain projects being postponed, not cancelled, but being postponed. But I would say in general, overall for Wärtsilä, the geopolitical uncertainty so far has not affected Wärtsilä in any major way.
That's good to hear. Decarbonization is, of course, massive driver for Wärtsilä. If we still look at the marine side, what are the key regulatory changes that have recently come into the force and what are still to be planned?
Yeah, so I think in 2023, IMO had a new regulatory framework coming into force with a carbon intensity index, there's certain other indexes, but it basically requires ship owners to reduce carbon emissions from their vessels on a yearly basis. So it's tracked on a yearly basis and you need to make progress on a yearly basis. That clearly has impact. Other regulations, EU regulations, Fit for 55, and the marine industry at the beginning of this year is now included in the European carbon tax scheme. And there is also EU fuel marine, which kind of leads to increased levies on fossil fuel in the European shipping world. So basically our when we look at the current legislation in place in Europe, the fuel cost for fossil marine fuel will double until 2030. And that also means, when we look in our crystal balls, that by 2035 there should be cost parity between the fossil fuels with levies and the green fuels. And the green fuels are more expensive, but by 2035 you will have a level playing field. Now you might say that 2035 is far in the future, but in the marine industry this is a very short time. I mean, considering that the lifetime of a vessel is like 30 years, 2035 is not so far away. Huh?
So there is a clear need for retrofits in engines.
Absolutely. I mean, in the discussions we have with ship owners, it's of course on new build vessels. They take. I mean, under the lifetime of a new vessel, the whole carbon transformation in marine will probably play out. I mean, IMO is talking about goals for 2050, so that's within the lifetime of a vessel. And then we have, and the world has about 100,000 big vessels out there sailing today. Let's assume that 50% of those are you can make a business case to upgrade. That's still a lot of upgrades that is needed, and different types of upgrades.
Yeah, clear market potential for you. Wärtsilä has increased the R&D spending target. It was earlier 3% of net sales, and now it's 4% to net sales. When will you have the full product portfolio available for methanol and ammonia engines?
So, I mean, we have launched our first engines for methanol, and now with the announcements, I think we have 5 engine platforms on methanol. We have launched our first platform for ammonia. And we haven't communicated to the external market exactly when all of our platforms will be there. But as you can see, we are making great progress. So already now we are ready for methanol, we are ready for ammonia. And we still, we have our set for 30 targets. One of them is to have a product portfolio ready for zero carbon fuels by 2030. And I think we will certainly meet that target.
Yeah. It was widely covered that you launched world's first large-scale 100% hydrogen-ready engine power plant. So please tell a little bit more about that.
So basically, TÜV, which is a certification institute, they have a kind of 3-stage, you could say, approval process for 100% hydrogen power plants. And we have now qualified for the first step, which is about a concept, so to say. Then after the concept follows detailed design, etc., etc. But I think with the plans that we have, we should be able to open up for selling 100% enabled power plant already in 2025 for deliveries in 2026.
Yeah.
Now, then I think the key thing on hydrogen, like in many of the other green fuels, is the availability of the green fuels and also the affordability of the green fuels. And similar to what we are saying on the marine side, I think we are also of the opinion that on the energy side, it will likely also be a gradual blending because of availability and affordability.
Yeah. Final question, let's get back to the short-term market outlook. How you see the second half of the year and perhaps the next year and a demand for environment?
No, so we guide on demand coming 12 months, and both for marine and energy, we have guided that we see a demand situation that will be better than the previous 12 months. So I think the underlying outlook is optimistic, and it's both on the marine and on the energy side. So the fundamentals that are in place, and we talked already about Q2 drivers, those are the same drivers also going forward.
Yeah, so this is time for performing for you.
Absolutely. Then we have also been very clear, and we have underlined that during the second half of this year, we will have both new build equipment and services growing, but new build will grow faster than services, and of course the profitability of new build is lower than services, so you will have a mix effect, and that's why we also communicated that if you look the past 7 years, we have always had a peak in EBIT margin in Q4. I mean, we have had that seasonality, but considering this, that we are growing in both, but new build will grow faster, we have said that we will not have the same peak in EBIT margin in Q4.
Yes, we have to remember that at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks for your time and all the best for
Thanks a lot.
rest of the year. Yes,
nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.